드디어 찾았다.
Hello everyone, my name is WIKI. I'm a Hwoarang player from the UK. I've been playing Hwoarang since Tekken 7 has come out. I've done fairly well with him in tournament. So today I'll be taking you through a quick guide on Hwoarang. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to DashFight for more character guides, and make sure you check out their website for all things FGC.
아, 귀찮아.
Hwoarang in the Tekken series is a no-frills, high-octane, all-or-nothing character, and within the Tekken game, he is pretty much more of the same. His game plan revolves around relentless rushdown with kicks and punches, often centered around a myriad of stances, with stance transitions being heavily advantageous not only on hit but on block. This causes the opponent to freeze up because it's never really their turn. It's quite difficult to get around Hwoarang's offense, and when they freeze up, they open themselves up to devastating 50-50s from both Flamingo stances. Hwoarang is centered around four main stances. These are LFF, left foot forward, which Hwoarang spends most of his time in and is his neutral stance in neutral. Right foot forward, this is Hwoarang's pressure stance. It's not as mobile as LFF, as a side step or a running motion will cancel Hwoarang out of this stance, but Hwoarang has access to great neutral moves and pressure from this stance. He also has access to left flamingo and right flamingo. These help Hwoarang keep the pressure up on hit and on block, with both stances having access to devastating 50-50s and great pressure orientated tools.
Become DashFight supporter on Patreon. Gain ad-free browsing on our site. Click the link in the description.
One of Hwoarang's best moves, and perhaps the move he's known for most, is his down 3-4 low-high pressure starter. This leaves Hwoarang plus 14 in the opponent's face in RFS, meaning Hwoarang can enforce a mix-up, or he can extend his pressure. Furthermore, if an opponent is pressing, Hwoarang can also counter hit them for a full launch. A move which complements down 3-4 very well is Hwoarang's just frame skyrocket. Now this is particularly good because it's a safe mid launcher at -8, and it's quite quick at I-16 and has decent range. So this move will complement down 3-4 very well in the neutral, making opponents hesitant to duck. And if you're looking for whiff punishment, we also have back 3. This also doubles over as block punishment for I-16, and is a great tool as it's got great range and lets Hwoarang have a full combo. And if you're looking for launches at I-15, Hwoarang also has access to a generic down forward 2. These are particularly great as they launch for a full combo and are safe, making them not very risky at all. Quite a safe option to throw out every now and then as keep out if you think an opponent is going to walk into it. A great tool for checking opponents in the neutral with Hwoarang is his down forward 4. This has so many great properties. It's mid, it's homing, it's fast, it's +8 on hit, and it is also safe at -8. This is a great tool to throw out. It will insta-screw opponents in the air, and on counter hit it will also knock down opponents. Another great tool for checking opponents in the neutral is Hwoarang's forward 1+2. It is safe at -9. And it is a counter hit launcher, meaning if you have the opponent's timing, you can throw this move out for very little risk, and if you do manage to catch the opponent's timing, land a full combo. Another great tool Hwoarang has is his jab strings, particularly because they allow Hwoarang to enter Flamingo at a hefty frame advantage, meaning you can apply your mix-ups or go for pressure. Hwoarang also does not need to take enter stance, he can simply take his frames and stay in LFF. Flamingo jabs in particular are very good as they are +5. That's right, +5 on block, meaning that it's still your turn after your opponent blocks one of these flamingo jabs. And not many opponents know that, so you can go for frame traps. Very, very useful tool. And lastly, honourable mentions go towards Hwoarang's mix-ups from Flamingo, particularly his RFS back 3, which is only -10, making it a very low risk option to go for, and his RFS down 4-3. Okay, let's talk combos. So perhaps the most common combo you'll see people going for is this one. And I would class it as a Hwoarang BNB. This is a combo that is very versatile, very rewarding, and very commonly opted for by most Hwoarang players. You can also switch up the ender to suit your needs. Perhaps you may want Oki, and you can go for a while running 3. So definitely have a play around with that. If you want to switch up the filler as well, by all means you can do so. If you find that you need less wall carry and you want to be a bit more flexible on the enders. For some of Hwoarang's other launchers, you might find the combo routes need to be adjusted accordingly, and here are some examples. So with forward 1+2, you have to go for the forward 4 filler if you want a decent combo. With sidestep 4, this is something that I might opt for, and I just find that's very useful for me. Up back 3-3. Back 4. And finally, just frame skyrocket. Hwoarang will see rage affect his combos in 3 main ways. One is through the use of rage arts to secure big damage, and this is especially useful when your opponent is low on life and this combo perhaps might win you the round. Another way Hwoarang might use his rage is for extending his wall carry through the use of the Hunting Hawk rage drive. And lastly, a final way you might see Hwoarang use rage is for landing cool combos such as that one. Okay, now let's touch upon Hwoarang's wall combos. His BNB is as follows. The reason why this is his BNB is because it's reliable, high damage, and good Oki. Another wall combo you might see is this one. Similar to the first combo, it's got less damage, still very good damage, slightly less, but it has really strong Oki. You can mix the opponent up with a mid or a low after that one. Another wall combo you might see is this one. This one is also as strong as his first, however it will break the balcony at the very last hit, or the wall. So definitely go for that one if you're near a balcony break or a wall break. And finally, his best wall combos have to be the sidestep 3 wall combo. Now, perhaps what I'm known for most as a Hwoarang player is my combos, especially wall combos, and this one in particular is quite tough. The reason being is you have to time the sidestep 3 with the opponent being on a low slump on the wall, and it can be quite difficult, especially for beginner players. So I would only suggest going for this if you are a more advanced Tekken player or an advanced Hwoarang specialist. But this is one of Hwoarang's strongest wall combos. It's got great damage, great Oki, and great utility. Now, when it comes to rage, Hwoarang has great wall damage with rage. The wall combo you might see is this. That does great damage, it's quite easy, you can do it out for forward 2 as well. And there are varying enders you can go for. Another wall combo that you can go for in rage is this one. However, like the earlier sidestep 3 combos, you have to time it for when the opponent is on a low slump on the wall. And so because of that executional requirement, it can be fairly difficult. So I would suggest going for that one only when you feel comfortable with Hwoarang or when you're a higher level player. Okay, let's go over some of Hwoarang's strengths. Hwoarang has great stance-based pressure, with stances having access to great mix-ups. Hwoarang furthermore has great combo damage and wall carry, making his comeback potential very, very strong. Hwoarang also has great whiff punishment with back 3 and just frame skyrocket. Hwoarang also has decent movement with his wave dash and stance cancels, RFF cancelling, and also his manual entry into Flamingo can evade a lot of moves with a deep sidestep. Hwoarang has great jab strings as well. These can lead into stance pressure, or they can lead into jab strings to catch an opponent who wants to prevent you from entering your stance from jabs. And finally, because Hwoarang's moves are quite plus on block, he has quite a few different ways to get his pressure game going, making it very difficult for opponents who don't really have a lot of matchup knowledge to get a grasp as to what's really going on. Okay, let's discuss some of Hwoarang's weaknesses. Hwoarang has poor punishment. His punishment at I-10 is his jabs into either stance for flamingo pressure or simply just the plus frames. At I-11 he has 4-3, and this is his go-to punishment up until I-15, where he can launch with down forward 2. He does have this move as a punishment at I-14, but it's the same damage as his I-11 and therefore not very significant. For his while standing at I-11 he does have decent punishment, and for I-14 as well, with while standing 3 into a knockdown. However, from while standing he can't launch until I-16 with up back 3-3, making his while standing punishment weaker than average. He also suffers from having mediocre tools in the neutral. He does have a down forward 2, which is great, but his pokes aren't very, they just don't stand out. They lack any significant tracking or reward, and Hwoarang therefore has to take a bit more risk to get through in the neutral. Being a Taekwondo fighter, Hwoarang also has a tendency to throw a lot of kicks, which can make him susceptible to some sabakis. And because he is a pressure character, he's a bit more susceptible to turn stealing moves such as DPs, power crushes, and rage arts. And lastly, with being a mix-up based character, Hwoarang does need some reads to get going, and if you guess wrong and you mix yourself up, you will be taking a lot of risk and will probably be getting launched, so he's fairly risky. You can also check out all the things shown in this video in the text version via the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you have any thoughts you'd like to share with us, please leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely day.